All right. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to look at Doom 2099 Revolutionary. He is the Fantastic Four set number 60. I think it's a great figure. It's a title character. So let's get right to it and start breaking down what he can do. This Doom is coming in with the Latveria, Shield, Armor, Future, Mystical, Politician, Ruler, and Scientist keywords. So a lot of variety there. Armor has a bunch of great choices. Ruler, Scientist, I use a lot. Shield, of course, has a bunch of different things to pick from. So you have some choices there on named theme teams and a bunch of the best generic theme teams to choose from. He's coming in at 125 points for 8 clicks of life. Okay, let's take a closer look at what he does. We're going to look at his title abilities before we start breaking down the powers on his dial. So title character, when they activate one of their plot points, they have to do an attack or else they take 1 damage at the end of the turn. And then when they get KO'd, there's always a downside to it. So for Doom 2099, when he is KO'd, an opponent chooses a number of standard powers equal to your friendly characters on the map. Characters on your force can't use those powers until the end of your next turn. So that, of course, can turn the tide at the end of the match. You might only need to shut off people powers for 1 turn so that you can get rid of them. But really, Doom 2099 is going to be taking up almost half of your build, so he'll be taking on a main role anyway. So not really too much of a downside. We're going to be trying to preserve him on the battlefield anyhow. His first plot point ability is +0. It is free, make an attack that deals 1 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. If the attack hits, gain 1 plot point. If the attack hits the highest point or tied opposing character on the map, instead gain 3 plot points. So Doom starts with 1 plot point, and then this +0 ability is what you would activate to then start generating additional plot points. To be able to pick up 3 of those plot points by attacking the highest point character should really benefit you, because as you'll see in a second, his -7 is pretty outstanding. Okay, he has -1, so he can activate this plot point by taking away 1, and that is free. Choose an adjacent opposing character. If they aren't equipped, they modify defense -2 this turn. Otherwise, unequip that character's equipment. So this gives you a little bit of options. If you really need to land that hit on somebody, you could take away 1 of your plot points, drop their defense to make it more likely that you land your hit. Or if your opponent has a piece of equipment equipped that is key to what they're trying to do, this gives you the ability to unequip somebody's equipment. Depending on the opponent's team, that could be devastating to what they had planned. There's not a lot of things that allow you to take equipment off of your opponent. So being able to do it just by this free plot point is outstanding. So if you have somebody across the map that has that equipment that's necessary for their strategy, being able to take that away from them for free is good. All you have to do is get up next to them, take their equipment, it unequips it, and since it's free, you could then follow that up by moving away and carrying their equipment, or you could destroy their equipment. So you have a bunch of different options. Depending on what it is they have equipped, you could even carry it away, put it on one of your characters. So a lot of things you can do once you get that equipment off them. All right, but now let's look at the -7. So as you build up his plot points, he starts with 1. Then with that the +0 ability, if you target the highest point character, you do that twice, you could pick up 3 and 3. So you could get to that 7 pretty quick. Now, if you activate the -7, what that does is free for the rest of the game. For each opposing character, The first time each turn, that opposing character would be given close range, move, or power action. You may roll a d6. 3 through 6, that character can't be given that type of action that turn. So that can really mess up an opponent's strategy, not just the baseline of being able to take away what they can do, but then if your opponent tries to navigate around that rule, it can go against, not in their favor anyhow. So a 3 through 6, that gives you like a 67% chance that your opponent is not going to be able to use that ability. So high probability that if they say they're going to do a close range move or power action, they won't be able to do that specific type of action. Let's take a look at what that looks like. We're going to look at Dragon Man's dial here so we can break this down further. So Dragon Man starts with Run and Shot, which is a power action. And if Dragon Man were to declare Run and Shot, so that means they're going to try to do a power action, you get to roll a d6. High probability they won't be able to do that power action. So then they really don't have any other options left. If they're outside of range, they can't just do an attack then. Now your opponent might try to mitigate that by declaring maybe a move action first. So they say, okay, I will move 10. Now the rule happens. If you happen to get a 1 or 2, then they're stuck with what they declared. So now they have to move, which means they can't do their attack anyway. So if your opponent picks up on the way they can try to get around that high probability by declaring something that they don't really want to do, there is still a chance that that's not going to work in their favor. So that -7 is great. It not only is it great by itself, but it's great because it throws your opponent off of what they might be trying to do. It makes them rethink their strategy, and it kind of throws off their flow of the game. All right, now let's take a look at this dial and the title character traits that go with it. So Doom is coming in with a 7 range, 2 target. Again, he has 125 points. He has the team abilities of Minions of Doom and Wild Card. He flies, and he's indomitable. He has an 8 movement Run and Shot on his first click, 11 attack energy explosion, 18 defense invuln, and a 4 damage outwit. The first 3 clicks have those same powers. You'll see that on click 3, his movement increases to 10. On click 2, his attack decreases to 10. The defense stays consistent and the damage stays consistent. I really like these top clicks on Doom, so we're going to try to do what we can to keep him on those top clicks. At the end of his dial, he does have some regen, so it allows you to get back up there should he take some shots. He has reducers on click 1 through 3, and he has toughness, so another reducer on 4 through 6. So it should be able to preserve him from being one-shotted, and he has a long enough dial that we should be able to try to keep him alive and be able to regen him up should he take some hits. All right, with that Run and Shot, that means he can move 4 squares and then shoot 7. So that gives him a reach of 11. The 2 targets is nice, combined with energy explosion. So if your opponent happens to put their characters together, so bunch everybody up, or run maybe 2 different little squads at you, that gives you the ability to dual target energy explode to hit multiple characters. Or if you don't need that, then you can just single target and do a regular attack without the energy explosion to get the 4 damage. The outwit is nice. The way I like Run and Shot with outwit is usually you're going to be Run and Shot in to increase your reach. So you're probably not in a position where you can outwit before Run and Shot. So you Run and Shot in, make your attack, and then outwit maybe the move and attack of your opponent so they can't then attack you back if they're outside of range. A 7 range is decent, so you might be able to get it so that your opponent then doesn't have any options where they can run in and hit you or run in and shoot you. Now, you'll notice that his ability, his title trait ability to free make an attack that deals 1 penetrating damage, that's a free attack. So you can run and shot, make your normal attack dealing maybe 4 damage, and then make a free attack after that that deals 1 penetrating damage and gives you plot points. So there's free attacks are great, and 1 penetrating is just like a bonus on top as you build up your plot points. On the middle of Doom's dial, you're picking up some pen psi. His attack value drops down to a 10, which is okay, but not stellar. He does pick up prob though on clicks 5 and 6, so it gives you a couple chances to land that 10. And remember, if you really need to land it, you have the chance to do a -1 plot point to drop an adjacent opposing character's defense by -2. So should somebody tie you up and you really need to hit them with that 10 attack value, you can drop their defense by 2. Okay, he ends with range combat expert. His attack goes up to an 11. His damage goes up to a 4, but he has a 15 defense regen. So depending on how the game is working out, you get on those last 2 clicks, you might want to regen off of it. Or if it's just down to you and that opponent, you're on your last click, you could take advantage of that range combat expert to increase your attack or your damage to take out that threat. All right, with this Doom though, I would, the thing that I automatically went to when I saw this dial plus what he brings with his title character is putting him with the Soul Gem. The way this would work is the Soul Gem modifies his defense +1, so it takes that pretty good 18 and makes it into above average 19 defense, so making him harder to hit just straight off the bat. So his first four clicks, he becomes a 19 instead of an 18. In addition to that, it gives him steal energy with close or range attacks. So I like that with anybody that gets additional attacks. So things like Flurry, or this Doom has just free from his plot point ability. So he can run and shot, that's an attack. If he hits that, he'll be healing. But his free title character, that also triggers the steal energy. So he has multiple ways to heal more than 1 click on a turn. So should somebody knock him on to click 3 or 4, he has run and shot that he can do, maybe heal in 1 or 2. And then if he's not on his top click, he has the free, he can activate that plot point and then get a free attack to activate steal energy if he damages and then be able to heal again. And then the Soul Gem also gives him, if the attack roll was 10 or higher and it hits, after resolutions, heal him 1 click. So he has a lot of ways to preserve this dial and keep getting back up to his top clicks should he get hit a couple times. The other thing that's cool is he has 2 targets. So you can dual target, maybe you, with his 10 attack, you might not be able to hit the main attacker on an opponent's force. So you dual target to try to take advantage of that steal energy, maybe the main attacker and one of the secondary or support characters that you're more likely to hit. So that way, if you miss the main target with your roll, you also have that secondary target that hopefully you hit so that you can steal energy and heal up off of that. So again, lots of ways to heal him 1, 2, or even 3 clicks with the Soul Gem, Steal Energy, and the 10 or higher. So lots of ways to heal up on a turn. Overall, I really like this title character for 125 points. I think he is bringing more than 125 points worth of abilities to the table. So I think it's a good value. The move and attack, dual target, flies. He has outwit, a good damage output, and enough will be left in your team build that you can either bring in a secondary attacker or build some support to really increase what Doom 2099 brings. All right, I hope you like this video. Let me know how you plan on using him down in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
Check it out. If you dig what we do, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.